Hey, happy Wednesday. Today's November 27th, day before Thanksgiving, and I wanted to share some of the current astrology with you to give you a heads up on the energies that we're all swimming in during this week and over the weekend. I know a lot of people will be gathering with family, with friends, maybe traveling uh, to join people. It's a busy time, a busy long weekend for most folks, I would say, in the US. Um, we are in Sagittarius season. The sun is in Sagittarius and Mercury is in Sagittarius. And Mercury turned retrograde on Monday. And so Mercury retrograde themes are at play, which could mean that communication is highlighted and might feel jumbled, and technology is highlighted and might feel jumbled, and transportation is highlighted and might feel jumbled in an expansive, passionate Sagittarian way. It's also opposite to Jupiter in Gemini, expansive energy. Mercury is also trine to Neptune, the planet that helps us connect with intuition, dreams, creativity, spirituality. But a Mercury Neptune trine like that is, or square rather, like that, is also confusing. Things may not be as they appear, or the details and the facts might not be forthcoming. So this is an environment for our thinking, our perceptions, our communication, our socializing that is, I'm going to say highlighted. I'm going to say it's got that Sagittarian expansiveness, the fiery passion, and also an optimism, also inspiration, also connection to what we believe in. Okay. This can add like enthusiasm and life to conversations and gatherings, can also amplify disagreements, amplify differences in beliefs and faith and political views, uh, and can make the communication not as clear as it might be at another time. And so, if you're thinking about, oh my God, Thanksgiving during Mercury retrograde, yikes. Or you're thinking, oh my God, so many things have gone wrong already this week, and I can't even quite yet think about Thursday. I know several people in my life have been feeling that and encountering a lot of problems with appointments and with cars and with communication. Uh, know that that's part of the energy that we're dealing with. And how can you find that inner spark of what is meaningful to you? I think that the Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius is an invitation for us to go inward and to revisit our beliefs and our values and the things that we find inspiring and that light us up, that are enlightening, and to revisit them. If you're someone who has an end of the year practice of reviewing the year, the next 3 weeks or next 2.5 weeks with Mercury in retrograde until December 15th, this is a great time to do that. It's a great time to use the Mercury energy for that review process. I know I'm actually feeling excited about doing that for myself. I've done this every year for the last 25 or 30 years. I usually do it the week between Christmas and New Year's, but this year with the astrology, I feel like the Mercury retrograde period is really supportive for that. And I want to put some of my time and energy into that and like reflecting on what was this year for me? What did it mean? What did I learn? How did I grow? What did I encounter? Who did I meet? Uh, things that brought in more life, more light to my year in 2024. Um, Mercury retrograde is often has a reputation for people from our past getting back in touch, hearing from a friend you haven't heard from a long time, perhaps hearing from an ex-romantic partner that you haven't heard from in a long time. And I I'm going to turn this one around and suggest you do the same thing. This is a great time for you to be that person, to reach out and to reconnect with important people in your life, friends you haven't talked to in a long time. Use your discernment about those ex-romantic partners, depending on your relationship and how it ended and all of that. Uh, Use discernment all the way around. And what if you could use these next couple of weeks to extend greetings and connection and appreciation to the people in your life? Um, I also have a practice of doing written Christmas cards, and often do start them at Thanksgiving weekend. But I'm going to do them with that intention of like, oh, yeah, I'm really working with the Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius, expressing what brings me alive, expressing, the positive. Sagittarius has us seeking the meaning and seeking the opportunities and things. And connection, relationships, friendships are really important to me. And I noticed that this year in particular, I have felt myself slipping in being in contact with people. Uh, uh, Slipping or feeling like I haven't had my usual energy or bandwidth for reaching out. Um, how I've let it slide. Oh, I haven't heard from them either for a long time. Oh, yeah, well, and I want to turn that around during this time with choice, with discernment, with knowing that, it doesn't mean I have to reach out to everyone I've ever known, um, but to use that energy of Mercury retrograde intentionally. Um, it's also, reviewing, reflecting, revising, reorganizing. Great for year end, getting year end financial things kind of set or organized, making those appointments with accountants or investment advisors or things like that. Um, but also knowing that we're all in this energy of Mercury being influenced with Neptune, with it opposite to Jupiter, which I think is going to be expansive and more positive, where we can look at it that way. Um, we have this week also, we have a waning moon. So our new moon is on Sunday, the 1st, in the sign of Sagittarius. That'll set us up for the lunar cycle in Sagittarius, for experiencing our emotional life through the Sagittarius lens for the month and how we want to work with that. But between now, Wednesday, and Sunday, we're in that waning moon. And that can mean that emotionally we have less energy, that it's a time for relaxing and resting and letting go of the month we just come through. The moon will be in Scorpio tomorrow for Thanksgiving. Water sign, deep intensity for emotion, but also an orientation towards emotional truth. Now, that doesn't mean you have to tell your deepest, darkest secrets at the Thanksgiving table, but it does mean we'll have access to feeling into what's true. So maybe that is that slowing yourself down, the Mercury retrograde tip, slowing it down, thinking it through, feeling, or moon in Scorpio, feeling into what's really true here and what would be empowering in this situation. Not what would be a grab of power or control or manipulation, not that, but what would it empower on the whole? What would feel good and true and honest? Scorpio moon sets us up for that. Now, that Scorpio moon, the early part of the day or later tonight, is going to be in that tension relationship with Pluto and Mars, which are still talking to each other across the zodiac in Pluto in Aquarius, Mars in Leo. And so that energy is still activated. It's still a strong energy, bringing alive the transformation energy for us. Um, it's a tough one. A lot of people feel really exhausted in this zone of Mars opposite Pluto, but hang in there. We're going to be in under the influence for another couple months, till I think late February it starts to loosen up. Um, take care of yourself this week. Physically, like today, if you can, if you haven't already, get some exercise and fresh air, eat some healthy food, knowing that probably tomorrow you're going to have luxurious food and rich food and possibly large quantities of it. I know that's the tradition of having a big feast sort of a thing on Thanksgiving, and that might not be what you're choosing to do or able to do this year. Um, but with that whole thing, however you're spending the day tomorrow or over the weekend, how can you nourish yourself? How can you feed yourself physically, emotionally, spiritually, intellectually, mentally, in a way that feels good? That's not just junk food or not just numbing out. Um, with that Mercury square Neptune, there's going to be kind of that desire to kind of uh, check out, numb out, um, go for what's dreamy or entertaining or I would suggest if you do drink alcohol, go really light on it tomorrow, just because we don't need to add more of that kind of energy to a Scorpio moon and a Mercury retrograde square to Neptune is my thoughts on that. A little will go a long way with those energies already in the sky. So but this time in the moon phase with the waning moon is a time for releasing and relaxing. So if you can, if you're hosting or if you're contributing, do what you can and relax into it. Be present with the people you're around. And it doesn't have to be a high stress operation. Um, That's what I'm noticing and feeling here. I'm very excited where we are. We have blue sky and sunshine today, and looks like for the next 8 or 10 days after a very long rainy spell here in Northern California. So I do feel like today sort of opened up me that energy of Sagittarius. Oh, there's bright horizons out there. There's like, the light has returned in a way. So I'm going to get out this afternoon for a walk. I'm going to connect with friends. I'm going to spend the day tomorrow remembering all that is good and what we do have to be thankful for this year. I think really focusing there and amplifying the good is what a lot of us are craving. And this is a really good time, astrologically and seasonally, to focus on what we do want and what is already good and what we have to be grateful for. I'm grateful that you listen to these things, that you find some value in this channel, in being on my mailing list, however it is you found this in the Facebook group. Um, and if you haven't liked or subscribed to the YouTube channel and want easier, quicker access to these, pop over there and do that. If you don't get any written news from me, which I don't send very much, you might, oh, you know what? There's not a way to sign up. Send me an email, tiffin@tiffindillon.com, to get on my mailing list. And have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Be gentle with yourself and with the people you're around, and try to find the good and amplify the good. Let's do it. All right. Have a good one.